Hello Professor. So this is our DBMS project part number 1 submission, where myself Nitin Shah and my partner Piyush Kumar Kanjibai Patel are going to do this submission, and we will have all of the zip files which we are going to explain in this be uploaded to the in the canvas, and our project group number is 8. And so I'm going to explain the ER diagram now. This is the basic ER diagram. I'm going to now zoom in to each of the entities and attributes to explain why we have selected those. And over here, the main entities are contest, sponsor, judge, contestant, review, and submission. And so I'll just zoom into sponsor. So over here in the contest, so first we have the contest ID, which represents each individual contest, and this entity has several attributes: the sponsor fee, the contest ID, the title, the status, the begin and end. So the sponsor fee, so how much the sponsor is going to give to the contest, so it is given over here. Yeah, so here it is, the sponsor fee, which is in USDC, which is a digital currency. And so over here, and the contest ID is given as the primary key, as it is a unique address, 42 characters long. And so we have given it as a primary key, and then we have the contest title, which is the name of the contest, and then we have a status. So the status represents there are either 4 options. It's either created, opened, closed, or passed. And then we have a duration, which is begin and end over here. And then over here, as you can see, we have a thick arrow line, which means basically the thick arrow line means that it is exactly once. So the contest jumps into the relation with sponsored by exactly once, and over here it is clearly given that each contest has a sponsored by exactly one sponsor. It's not 0 or 1, it's exactly 1. And so we added this thick arrow from contest to sponsored by, and not from sponsor to sponsored by, as a sponsor can sponsor as many contests they want or as the budget gives them, but the contest can be sponsored by exactly once. And then over here we have the sponsor entity, which represents the company or organization that is sponsoring the contest, and then the sponsor entity again has a unique wallet address, which is 42 characters long, and that's the reason we have assigned it as a primary key. And then we have the company name, and we have the company address, and then the email. And then we also have, and then the sponsor gives the judge a review based on their past performance when they kept the judge. And then over here the judge review has the following attributes: score, comment, and public review. Over here we don't need any primary key, because the score can be, it is between 0 to 10, and the score number 6 can be repeated many times. And then we have a comment, so either it is highly recommended, neutral, or not recommended based on the score and the public review, and which is connected to the judge. So a sponsor can give a judge at most once review, because if they give the review many a times, then it won't be beneficial, it will be confusing. And so we have given a constraint, which is, so the sponsor jumps into the relation with judge review at most once. So it's either 0 or once, because we cannot force the sponsor to give a review. And over here the judge is connected by the judge review. So a judge, if he or she is a new judge, then he or she may have 0. reviews. It and then or else and if the judge has judged a lot of contests, then he or she will have more than one sponsors or more than one judge reviews, sorry, not sponsors, more than one judge reviews. And so we have given a normal line which represents zero or many, and then over here the judge, even the judge is represented. Also we also have a judge entity, and which represents the anonymous individual who will have the grading the submissions for each contest. And then the judge entity has a unique wallet address which will be 42 characters long, and it is a unique wallet address, and so we have again given it as a primary key. And then they have many reviews, so that's what it is. And then there is a reward balance, so the judges are given the 20% of the sponsor fee is evenly distributed by the judges within the judges, and we have a 5 to 10 judges bench. And so it is not an exact number like each judge will get the 4% of the sponsor fee. It will depend upon how many judges we have. And then the judge will have at least once submit the review for the submission of the contestant for the contest. And so over here we have the review entity which has the following attributes: ID, score, and comment. So we will have a review ID as there will be, suppose there are 10 judges. We also have a submission ID which is over here, which is unique. So let's say we have 10 judges in a judge bench for a contest, and so we cannot just put the review in terms of the judge. We have in terms of the submission ID, we have to put it in terms of the review ID. So it will be basically, the basic idea will be that the submission ID, there will be a submission ID, and under that there will be IDs which will be 1 to 10. And the reason we have not given it as a primary key, because if it's a submission, if the submission ID is different, and it will be a different because it is a primary key. So if the and then under the submission ID we will have first review, so which will be given by the first judge, to review ID which will be given by the second judge. It doesn't make sense that we have 1000 reviews, 1000 submissions, and then we have 10 judges. So we just keep on incrementing the review ID, which will be 1 lakh IDs, and then going through all of them will take a lot of time and our database will be slow. So that's the reason we have not given the ID primary key. And then there will be score, which will be 0 to 100. So yeah, this is here the score 0 to 100 based on the checking the submission against requirement. That will be done by the judges themselves. And then there is a comment which can be excellent, good, bad, neutral. And then the review is assigned to the submission ID exactly once, and then the submission is given for the review exactly once, and then each submission will get an exactly one review, because in one of that review there will be all of those 10 judges scores. And so that's the reason we have, so I'll just explain it. The review jumps into the relation exactly once with assign, and submission jumps into relation with assign exactly once. And then over here we have submission. So the submission entity which represents each individual submission from contestant to a contest, and then the submission entity has several attributes which are submission ID and date. So the submission ID is a primary key, as I explained earlier. It will be a unique address where, which represents the submission ID, which will be again be a 42 character long, and it cannot be repeated more than once, as it will be a confusion that which contestant has given which submission, and then when the submission was given, that's the date over here. And then finally we have contestant. So yes, so yeah, the contest for contestant, so it's so we cannot just force a contestant to participate, and then we can have a few contests which have zero participants, so it wasn't a hit. And so in the contestant we have two IDs, the contestant ID, two attributes, sorry, the contestant ID and then the reward balance. So the reward is distributed according to their score. The 80% of the remaining sponsor fee reward is distributed according to their score. And then we have a contestant ID, which is again a primary key, which means that it is a unique wallet address which is a 42 character long and it cannot be repeated. And then we have this submission, so the contestant submits it for this contest, and that's exactly what we have. And then over here, yeah, so the judges review the contest. So we have this, or sorry, the judge, the contest has have judges for the review, and that's the reason we have this relationship over here. And so that's all for the ER diagram. And now going to the SQL code. So here is the code which we used to create a database, the tables, and we have created a total of 9 tables. All of this code will be run by Piyush Kumar in his system, and we'll be uploading all of this code in the zip file in our Canvas submission. Over to you, Piyush.
Hello, Professor. I am Piyush Kumar Kanjibai Patel, and my partner is Naitik Shah. We are in group number 8. So, we are implemented first part of our project. Naitik will explain ER diagram, and I am going to explain web interface and my SQL query. So, this is my SQL workbench. Here I created one database, that is testdb1. Then I use testdb1. Then I create 9 different table as per requirement. So first one is user with the field of wallet, address, password and role. My second table is sponsor with the field of sponsor ID, company, email, address. My third table is contents. My fourth one is contestant. My fifth one is judge. Then submission. Then review. Then judge review. Then contents judge. Then sponsor. Here you can see that all of this. So this is my all the table where I give proper primary key and foreign key. Here you can see that. Yeah, and here. So when you select data, that is review, you can see that table that I added manually data. So this data I gave in Eclipse. So here you can see that this all data I added manually till here. So my first table is user with the field of wallet address, password, role. So wallet address is unique for everyone. So this all are my unique wallet address. My password is sushi1254 and role is contestant. Here you can also see that sponsor ID, company name, email, and address. So sponsor ID is unique for everyone. Whichever is ID is that is unique for everyone. Company name is Apple, email is apple@gmail.com, and address is this. Also, I want to tell you one more thing. In my case, my table name is I created new table. So I created new database. So my database name is test db1. So make sure you check your table name sorry, your database name is test db1. Here you can see that, yeah, here you can see that test db1, and also check this also, your user and password. My username is John and my password is John123. Yeah, so there are three requirement. First one is delete all the existing table. So for that I write here code. So this is code for delete all the table. Then the second requirement is, I think, create table that I already told you. Now let's open our register page. So this is our register.jsp file where I add sponsor, judge, contestant, everything. This is my login page. Here you can see that username, it contain username and only password. So it will send request to control servant file.java file, and this is my user.list file where I give where there is, yeah, so this is my end user.java file. Now I'm going to run my register.file. So in my for run, you have to run, click right button, run, then run on server, then click Tomcat and finish. So once you click that, once you process all this, your page pop up like this. Then you have to fill all the detail. So wallet address is unique for everyone. So let's add one wallet address. Uh, so 12 I'm going to change my 09. Sponsor name is Q, address is Q. gmail.com. Password is also Q and password confirmation Q. Then I'm going to register. So it so my username was 09. My password is Q, and if I click login, so here you can see that my data is successfully logged in. Now I'm going to log out and open, and let's see root. My username is sorry, my password is pass1234, and I'm going to click enter. So here you can see that this data I recently added. So I'm going to log out, register here again, and I'm going to paste this and 09 again. So my sponsor name is, let's try another, a a sorry, a at the rate dot dot password is a, and password is again a, and if I click register button, so here you can see the register failed because I already used that wallet address. So let's paste here something different. 07 z z z at the rate gmail.com. Password is z, and my password confirmation is, I'm going to click, I'm going to write a. Let's see what happens. So here you can see that registration failed. Password and password confirmation do not match. So this is our part step 3. Here you can see that sign up for use new user with information. So, duplicate address should be detected and fail the sign up. Unmatching password should be detected as well. So there, this I already show you. So now return to login page. Root, and my password is pass1234. Login. Here you can see that initialize the database button. Once I click here, it will delete all the data which I recently added. So you can see that it remove all the data which I recently added. Thank you. If you have any doubt, just message me. Thank you. So